Hey guys, today we're going to learn how to make Lalmohon. That's in Bangla. In Hindi it's called Gulab, Jamun. And this cooking show is mainly focused at graduate students like me who crave for good food and good sweets, but we're left behind all the time. So here we are, we can overcome, and we're going to learn how to make Gulab Jamun or Lalmohon, whatever works for you. So what we need, the raw materials are, we need 1 cup of milk, 1.5 cup of sugar, 3 tablespoonful of butter or margarine, whatever works for you. Just make sure it's not salty. And we need 2 tablespoonful of flour and 1/4 teaspoonful of baking powder, and we also need 1/4 teaspoonful of cardamon seeds. Now we also need 3 cups of water, which I've already put in the pan, and we need small amount of oil. I'm going to go on how much oil we need based on the size of the sweets that you will be making. Okay, so the first thing I do is take the cardamom seeds and I put it in the water. I let it soak for a while. It gives it a nice flavor. And then we have to prepare the main stuff. So first you need a clean bowl, and you must make sure your hands are washed. So wash your hands first before you do anything. Okay, now we mix the milk. We put in the milk first in the bowl, and then you take the flour and put it in, and also the baking powder. They'll all mix together, so you don't have to worry about like putting them one by one. So I put them all together. The first thing I do before I do anything else is I mix them. I mix them very well. This takes about 30 seconds, actually less. Once it's well mixed, what I do is that I put in the butter. So you put in the butter. Make sure you get all of it. And then you start mixing. You keep on mixing till the butter is equally distributed. So after you kind of mix it well with the butter or margarine, whatever you like, depending on your diet, you put in a bit of water. Now there is not exactly a count of water that I use, how much water I should put in. I usually make a guess, but maybe after I finish the video I can tell you how much water I put. So I would slowly put in the water, very little at a time, and then start mixing. And the idea is you'll get this dough out of it. So like I can tell it's still a bit dry, so you need to put a bit more water. But don't put a whole lot. You don't want to turn it into a paste. We need a dough, not a paste. After I finish the video, I'll put it down below. You have to look below in the details section of the video how much water I put. So there you go. You have the dough over here. You can see it's kind of like a sticky. You don't have to smoothen it, but that's basically it. So the first thing, now it's time to make the milk balls, and it would be difficult to make the milk balls with this sticky milk on your fingers. So what I usually do, I go quickly and I would wash my hands. So after you wash your hands, make sure it's nice and dry. Before making the sweet balls, I would put a bit of butter here on my palms so that the milk doesn't get sticky. You can do this, you can choose not to do this. It really depends on your personal choice. One thing you have to be careful is, or just be cautious is, right after you make the dough, you can't leave it like that. It dries off very easily, and then you can't make the balls. They would crack. So I usually would make it very fast. Right after I finish the dough, I quickly wash my hands, and it will turn into a nice ball. Now, about the size of the balls, it's really up to your choice. If you want big sweets, then you have to make them bigger. If you want small, you have to make them smaller. The idea is, whatever size milk balls you make, it will increase 1.5 times in volume. And remember, in volume, not diameter. So it won't be really large, it will increase in volume. So it will be slightly larger than what you get to see here. With the bigger ones, you're sort of safe in a way. They do round up really nice, and apparently it soaks the syrup really nice. We're going to go into that later on after a while. Usually if you're making them really small, you can make up to 24 pieces, like if you're making them really small like this. But you have to remember, these will increase in size by volume 1.5 times. And if you're making them large, you can make up to 16 to 18 milk balls. And while we were doing that, I put the oil in heat. Now, first of all, the question is, how much oil do you need? It really depends on the size of the pot. If you're using a larger pot, you need more oil. If you're using a smaller pot, you need less oil. But the question is, how much oil do you need? The answer is that if whatever your size of the milk balls that you're going to make, your oil should be at least 75% of the diameter of the milk ball. So if you're making really small, you have to make them, if it will dip to 75% of the height of, or the diameter of the ball. If you're making a bit larger, you have to make sure that it's, 75% of the diameter of the ball. And and how much heat do you put into this is, I usually, on a small stove, I usually put it on the middle. So if it's on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll put it on 5. If it's scale on 1 to 8, I'll put it on a 4. I put it right in the middle. You'll get the hang of it with experience. First times may not always be good, may turn out to be very good. It depends on your luck and your skills. So here I am. I'm going to put the milk balls in the milk, and as you can see, they'll create all these bubbles. So I usually put 6 or 7, depending on the size of the milk ball, and you let it fry. Sometimes if you see that if it's frying too fast, if it turns black too fast, that means the heat is a bit too much, or you've been heating the oil for a long time. You could reduce it so I'm going to go down to a 3. Like I said, it depends on your stove and your skills as well. And you wait till they turn to a nice brown color. So that is kind of like the color we're looking for. And you raise it and let the oil drip. You can put it back in the plate and put the rest in. So there you go. I'll put one by one. And be careful when you're putting these balls into the oil. Don't drop them from a distance. It's not safe. So, and one thing you have to remember when you're frying the balls is you have to constantly stir the balls or the oil Otherwise, you'd see that the balls would fry on one side and the other side would be completely white. You don't want to do that. So you have to constantly turn them. So you see, I'm turning them, and they're slowly turning brown. Alright guys, so as you can see, we have completed frying all the balls, and this is the color that you need to do. It's a bit brownish, you know. Now our next step is to prepare the syrup. Now you already remember we have 3 cups of water, and we put in the cardamon seeds and we let it soak. We'll now put in the sugar, which is 1.5 cups. So I'll put in the sugar, stir it a bit, and then I put it on high. It doesn't matter whether you're using the smaller stove or the large stove. You put it on high. The idea is you bring it to boil. Okay, so now the water has come to a complete boil, and it's time to put in the milk balls. Now you have to remember, you after it comes to a complete boil, you don't waste any time, because if you keep it boiling, the sugar syrup will become too thick and will become too sweet. So whenever it comes to a boil, right after it comes to a boil, maybe you can give it 30 seconds, and you put in the balls. You put in the milk balls one by one. You can do it. I usually would just slide the plate and let it all flow like that. And right after that, you turn it off, because it's already in boil, and you cover it. And you cover it and you keep it for maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Half an hour is preferable. Gives you the best result. And okay, so we let it soak for about 15 minutes, and so I'll remove the cover now, and you can see, if you take a look at it, they increased in size. The smaller balls, the larger balls. So they increased in size like about 1.5 times in volume, and you can tell that they're done by looking at the balls. They're completely soaked in the syrup, so they're submerged. They're not floating. When they're submerged, it means the fluid is completely soaked into the milk balls, and they're ready for serving. So I'll just pick up one, and they should be nice and soft. You can put in some syrup if you want, depending on your choice. And I'm gonna try it now. And when you cut it, it should be nice and soft. It shouldn't be solid or hard inside. That means if it's hard inside, it means you either fried it at a very high temperature, or you left the milk dough hanging there for a long time. So I'll taste it now, and I hope I like it. It's slightly hot. Blessings of God. Food. And Gulab Jamun it's a great sweet, Lalmohon. I love it. I think I'm gonna finish the rest. My roommate is making the video, and maybe I'll give him one for doing all that hard work. Alright guys, so that was how to make Lalmohon or Gulab Jamun, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I tried to be as descriptive as possible, and I'm going to put the details below on how to do this, the recipe and the procedures, and I hope you like it. This is for graduate students like us, so that we can eat some good food. If I have time, there will be more videos in your way. So I'm signing out right now, and thank you. Bye-bye.